Let's see. All right, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody?
Yeah. All right, what's up?
To, another section of our Let's Talk Live. As you already know, today we're about to talk about, I would say, Africa, in general, about our country, where we're from. And the questions that we had today was if Africa could unite, and also if Africans from the diaspora could actually move home to build the continent of Africa. And the reason why, I'm just going to give a little brief summary as to why I chose these particular people, everybody that's watching me. So we have Wadimaya here. He's kind of like has traveled, I would say, through most of the African countries. Yeah, he's my brother. He's traveled most of the African countries, I would say. We have Miss Drew, who was born and raised in UK, and then she moved to Ghana. I would say, keep going with her life. She's doing wonderful over there. And then we have my controversial brother, Darlington here. He's a controversial politician. If you hit him with politics, he always has an answer for you. So these are the reasons why I chose those specific people, because everybody has a little bit of idea about, a little sector of everything. So to make it a lot easier for us to actually dissect the topic a lot more. So the first thing that I'm actually going to talk about is the first topic that we have, which is can Africa unite? And I'm just going to give the reason why I chose that topic, because when you look at most of the things that's actually going on right now, when you look at most of the things that's going on, let's say with the NSARS, everything going on in Ivory Coast and stuff like that, it's not at first, right? You would see that it's more so about, let's say, the white man actually, ruling over Africans, the white man telling us what to do and stuff like that. But now it's more so about Africans fighting against Africans, if you get my point. Africans not trying to see each other prosper. Africans not trying to actually make sure that our country is what we want it to be, if you get my point. So per your experiences and per your knowledge about what you've seen and what you've heard, I'm just going to start off with Ms. Drew, because ladies first. You move in, you've been raised in the UK and then you move into Ghana. What has been some of your experiences moving to Ghana, and some things that you think could actually be done better, and things that we could improve on, I would say, back home in Ghana?
Okay. Firstly, hi everybody watching. My name is Drew. I am a presenter and YouTuber. Yes. I do lots of other things, but okay, I don't think I'll be able to really touch much on other different countries around Africa. I can only talk about my experience in Ghana and how I feel. Definitely Ghanaians in Ghana do definitely need to support each other. I feel in Ghana there's a lot of pulling people down type of notion, mentality that we have here. I mean, it's very, from my experience coming up here, when it comes to support, the support that you get from other people is a little bit, it's not what you would expect if you were from the UK. And if from people in the same sector as I am, let's say presenting, event hosting, there are quite a few people that will happily, share your posts or, tell people to come and watch you, or even if you're like, right now we have this support Black businesses thing that's going on after Black Lives Matter. And so there was a lot of, let's help each other, let's support our own, let's lift each other up. Coming to Ghana, it was a little bit different for me, because a lot of people are thinking, oh, this lady, she's come from the UK. Like, it wasn't about my talent. It was, who does this girl think she is? And what does she think she's going to come here and do? A lot of this, I was getting a lot, firstly, a lot of people are just like, why would you come here? You're from the UK. Why would you leave your paradise to come here? Not a lot of people were wanting to support the fact that, okay, I'm here, help me, navigate my way around. Again, the Ghanaians, I would say, I can only talk about females, a lot of bitchiness around. One person is doing something, they don't want to see you prosper, jealousy. So people will say things to bring you down. People will say things, just they'll make like passing comments that can affect your the way you look to somebody else, and automatically you've got about Chinese whispered spreads like wildfire. You have about 5 people that have an idea about you, yet they've never met you before.
Exactly.
And so when it came to supporting, a new person who's come onto the scene and helping her connect with your links, people seem to be very, I don't know if the word is stingy with their networks or stingy with their connections. Everybody is just trying to focus on themselves instead of working together. When I'm sure together we'd be able to go much further.
I think they have this saying in Ghana that every man for himself, God for us all. So if I show you my network, you're probably gonna overtake me.
There you go. That's legit. Like that is.
That's true. We'll move on to the main man, Mr. Wadimaya. You traveling across Africa, I would say. What has been some of your experiences? Because recently I saw you made a video about you being in Kenya for about the 5th time you've been in Kenya, and the fact that whenever you get there, you're racially profiled, to be this guy who is coming in and have, any person coming to Kenya or whatever the case may be. So tell us about your experiences actually traveling around Africa and some of the things you think we could do better, or I would say Africans, quote unquote, could do better to help unite us as one. I do know that, in life, you do need people, right? As long as we're humans, we Black would need the white, the Black would need the Caucasians, the white would need, we need each other. But then again, specifically in Africa, there is so much of this, what do we call it? Pull him down spirit. Pull him down spirit, where we say every man for himself, God for us. So what has been some of your experiences? What do you think we could do better to actually help us in general and this our future generation that's actually coming up to help us unite?
I just feel like, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me over here. And I'm seeing great panels today. And I just want to say a big shout out to each and every one of you in here. Can Africa unite? Definitely, it's happening, with the power of social media. The youth are waking up already. But, when the youth are waking up and we have people in power who really don't care about us, is the people living in the continent that really suffers. Talking about my experiences in Africa, traveling in Africa, it has been good so far because I've learned a lot. But despite being good, there's a lot of struggle traveling within Africa. I don't even want to say this, but let me tell you something. Like, Africans don't even believe that as an African, you have to get money to travel within your own continent.
Wow.
That's the first thing. Whenever they see, they feel like you're getting the money from somewhere. And I'm that guy who don't want to show off for people to know what I have in my bag or whatever. I like being simple wherever I go to. And immediately I get there, they check your passport. They feel like, oh, you're a drug dealer or something like that. And they start harassing you. It has not been in one country, so many countries, so many African countries. I've been deported, I've been arrested, I've been, treated as if I'm not even an African. The fact that I've lived abroad and I know how it feels like being an African abroad and coming back to Africa and your own people treat you this way, it's so sad. I get so mad that sometimes I feel like I want to boil and bust at the same time, but it's all good. I just feel like it's part of decolonizing our mindset, because like most of us, I'll say that Africa is still not free. We're still colonized because, they colonized us for like we were enslaved and at the same time colonized. So bringing Africans out of this whole colonization mindset is going to be something difficult to crack. But trying our best. I just feel like social media is helping a lot. At this very moment, like I said, I didn't know Drew anywhere, but through social media we managed to connect. So that's how I see us uniting. So for Africa Unite, I know definitely someday it will happen, but not in any time soon.
Okay, got you. What do you think, Darlington?
Can Africa unite? My take before I jump into that, I just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity, and first of all, networking with this lovely people, Drew and Wadimaya. And again, my name is Darlington. I'm an outreach and talent development manager. I'll say one thing. Okudjato said that he said people sleep with their heads in Togo and their feet in Ghana. We're one people. When you go to the Ewa area and Volta region area, we're one people. We tend to be the same people. We have like the similar culture. The whole Jollof war thing. Jollof is across the entire West African terrain. But can Africa unite? Currently, I cannot say yes. I want it to be yes, but I cannot say yes. Reasons being, it's very political. During our early stages of independence, it was something that our leaders at that time were pushing for. There were leaders that pushed for it. Patrice Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah mentioned that there were leaders that really pushed for a united front. But because we did not allow it then, it is going to be very difficult for us to do that, because now each and every country within the African continent has experienced power, being independent on our own, sovereignty. Let's use the answer situation that happened in Nigeria. And the whole fact that Nanado, the current president of Ghana, should intervene, make a statement. We have celebrities going online saying, why is the president not making a statement? Why is the president making a statement about George Floyd in the US and not talking about and the statement that he's the chairman of ECOWAS? It doesn't work that way. There are a lot of international relationship going on, and you can't just come out and make a statement just like that. Yes, he can express how he feels, but he can't make a statement based on his position as one president and also the chairman of ECOWAS. So in terms of African uniting, we as a people, in terms of culture, by music, our entertainment, we're united. We're building something. But politically, I can't say we are ready. Maybe the future generation, but now we're not. That's my take on it.
The fact that we don't have Pan-African leaders, that's why Africa is struggling with the likes of Kwame Nkrumah in your area. What do you call it? Patrice Lumumba. Currently, Africa doesn't have Pan-African leaders. You cannot tell me that something is happening in Nigeria and Akufo-Addo cannot talk about it. It's because they are all birds of the same feathers. Look at what is happening. Look at what is happening in Ivory Coast. No African leader is talking about it. How can a whole president win 100% vote? Where does it happen?
So the issue right now is that, we all have the same. We're all Ghanaians. One owner, piano. The point is, if the people push for it, and it gets to a certain point where international folks have to get in, or world leaders have to get in, world leaders can get in. But till then, it is very difficult for us to jump in.
It's
when it comes to international relations.
It's because Africans are not ready to solve their own problems. That is the main reason. We always think that every problem must have solution from the West, which is not possible because the West doesn't care about you. If they care about you, they won't enslave you. If they care about you, they won't colonize you. This is what African leaders must understand. Look at them. All of them are congratulating Trump, Joe Biden for winning election. But there is war in Ethiopia. No one is talking. Sometimes I don't even get it. Like, we are saying that will Africa ever unite? Listen, as far as we have leaders like this in power, it will never happen.
Okay. See, that draws me to my next question, though. We're talking about how Newman, Darlington, you're talking about Akufo-Addo, given the state.
My other name is Newman, so if you mention
his other name is Newman, sorry.
Don't be confused.
It draws to my next question, right? How what Amaya was saying that in Africa, everything that we do over there, we're always trying to look up to the West to see, what they can do to intervene in outside. So with that said, do you think that us as Africans are still mentally being enslaved by ideologies from the West?
Thank you. We're still enslaved.
Yeah.
Okay,
now we have the politician.
The idea of democracy is from the West.
Okay.
And we have taken it wholeheartedly. If we want to keep democracy, then we have to come to the understanding that I wouldn't say we are enslaved. It is more so of an ideology that we are taking and experimenting it to see if it will work. When you look into history, there are a lot of countries, even the West, took a lot of knowledge from the Middle East. They took knowledge from the Middle East and they developed it to make it good for them. It is the same. I think we have to take the best from the West and make it better for ourselves. and make sure it works for our system, not just fully following it blindly. And a lot of countries are doing that.
Civilization started from Africa.
Exactly, and you can like when you look at the Romans, and when they came to Egypt, Alexander, they took books from there, they studied books from there. So it's more so also we going back and also learning from them. There's nothing wrong in learning from them. It's about taking what is working there and can work for us. It's not just working there, but can it work for us also, and applying it in our system and making it work.
Not to cut you off. You know how you were talking, the explanation that you're giving right now. That's why I would say I have Ms. Drew on, because judging from the fact that, she came from the UK over to Ghana, right? She came from the West, I would say, and then moved to Ghana, right? So when you, this question goes to you, Ms. Drew. When you move to Ghana, in the UK, or I'll say in the States or in the Western world, right? We work with time. You have to be on time. Everything has to be on time. Your work has to be done this way. This has to be done that way. It keeps you going, keeps the money flowing. Have you ever been in that situation? Let's say when you started being a presenter and stuff like that, right? Whereas they tell you to get here on time, or people in the same, I would say, industry as you, actually trying to learn something from the experiences that you've had being in the West and moving to Ghana? Or do they feel like, oh, you're this lady who wants to come in, you're always trying to do, they don't want to learn from what you've learned to actually help improve them? Have you ever been in that situation before?
Most definitely. Like I was agreeing with Darlington when he was talking about taking ideas from the West and applying them to, how we do things in Africa. I'm not saying that the West is perfect, of course not, but at least taking some things from there and making it work for our good. Again, yes, like exactly like you said, I've come from, an area where if you say 5 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock. If you arrive at 5:05, there's a possibility your appointment is cancelled. But in Ghana, you'll have a meeting at 3 o'clock, the person will roll up at 6 and they'll tell you, oh, but I'm here now. Which I'm like, wow, it's a little bit disrespectful. When it comes to, respecting people's time and doing things, I definitely do feel like I can't speak for Africa because I don't know Africa, but for Ghana, I would say at some times it is necessary to have some form of structure. Yeah. Structure kind of help. If there was a little bit of structure, it would help help us to be able to move forward a little bit, would have a little bit more order. It would maybe make things move a little bit more seamlessly. But then again, when I've come, it's been like, listen, you're in Ghana now. This is how we do things in Ghana. And you just have to adapt to the way they do things. And so it is frustrating. Weirdly, as frustrating as it is, it does in a way work out. And so you have to learn to do things the way you do things. And it does get done. It does get done just longer than, if I had planned to do this in London, it will be done a bit more quicker.
Gotcha. Yeah, at Joseph, since Wadamaya has had a lot of interviews in Ghana, interviewing people like real estate investors and stuff like that. Normally they you give them a time as to when you're going to be there, right? So let's say they tell you to come interview them. They tell you 5 o'clock. Let's say you get there at 5 o'clock on the dot. Have you ever been where you get there at, let's say, 1 and the person is not even there? And
let me tell you something. Like in Ghana, there's nothing like 2 o'clock has to be 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, like I have been a victim myself. Like, okay, when I was based in China, I used to, like, when I came back to Africa, I was like, I was respecting time all the time. Like, if you tell me 1 o'clock, I'll be there like 12 o'clock, and then I'll wait, like, let's say 3 hours before the person shows up.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I'm in Rome right now, so I need to roll like people in Rome do, So I had to go with the flow, because this is the situation. Like, you cannot tell me to come at 12 o'clock and I get there at 12 o'clock and I have to wait for 3 hours. I'd rather wait in my house for 3 hours and come and meet it. But it's a system in Ghana. I'm not saying that it has to change. It has to change. But we're all used to it.
Okay.
It has to change. But
we need to get unused.
I mean, you're saying that when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do. It's a culture thing, and which is wrong. This culture thing needs to change.
Very wrong.
The point is, if you make a change, and like, if let's say I have a meeting with you, I'm supposed to have a meeting with you, and it's supposed to be at 3, and you come at 6. Obviously, I will make sure you're not see me by 6. You're not going to see me, because I'm going to give you like 30 minutes. And if we start doing that, people will start adapting also. It's little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. You doing it, me doing it, the next person doing it, and changes occur. it's more sort of a culture thing. It's us doing it little by little, and it will change the culture.
Very, very lax and very blasé, which is it can be frustrating. But again, like what the Maya said, you just have to actually deal with it. And sometimes when I've definitely had so many experiences where I've been like, if you're not here by 30 minutes, I'm going. Then they start getting upset with you, like, oh, you just need to relax. This is funny. You need to calm down. And then it's just like, well, if you know that you actually need to have this meeting with this person, there's nothing you can do about it, but you just actually sadly have to wait. You just have to wait, which is just, it's very annoying. But I would say some of the mentality from the West definitely needs to be, that's why I would like more of the diaspora to come to Ghana to be able to sort these things out, own businesses or do customer service, sessions to teach people how to behave, how to have a good customer service. And when they see more people are going around like that and that they are prospering, that way is when people will copy, or you'll get the people that will then drag them down, because that's what happens. When people are doing such amazing, people in Ghana will be like, oh, they'll start talking bad about it, and it will just be pulling down system. So even though I've come back to Ghana, I love Ghana. I mean, Ghana is my home, but my mind isn't, I'm coming here to change Ghana. Drew is trying to be international. So I can get the Ghana market, but I'm still trying to get other people, because it is sadly very, very difficult. Very, very difficult.
And it does draw to my next question that we had on the list, as to if Africans in the diaspora to actually move back home to actually help build the continent of Africa. And, normally I touch base on this because, and I have examples that I use. Let's say with Darlington, right? Let's say with Darlington and I being in the States, right? Let's say we work and we get paid, let's say a month. I'm just giving an example. Let's say a month we get paid, let's say $6,000, right? Which in Ghana is like 30,000 cities or something like that, right? We get paid $6,000 here. And we get to Ghana with the intention, right, of actually helping, the society over there, to help them actually improve on their work ethics, the time management, making sure that everything is going in as seamlessly as possible. But then we get there, let's say, I would say, let me say this in Chi, I think it goes better. Like if I get to Ghana, I'm getting paid here $6,000 a month. If I get to they pay me.
Can I answer this question? Can I answer this question?
Yeah, sure.
I would say that as a diaspora, don't come to Africa or don't come to Ghana to look for a job. Come. Listen, I was based in China, and I was like, let me tell you something. I was earning like $2,500 a month. Bro, I converted $2,500 into Ghana city. That was a lot of money. I was so excited knowing that, oh my goodness, I've made it in life. I was telling my mom, hey, I made it, man. Tell me what you need and I'll buy it for you. Okay. Like that was the whole perception that I had, that like, okay, if you convert the money into Ghana cities, that's a lot of money. So, I don't need anybody. I'll be able to do whatever I want. Until I got to Africa, and I was seeing so many opportunities. That, okay, when Africans on the continent sees, they'll be like, okay, why are you doing this? You mean I can do that? Because here, everybody is concentrating on how to get a white collar job, which is not paying.
Terrible.
Somebody might be in the bank and will be earning $1,200, 1,200 Ghana cedi, and he thinks that he has made it. But let me tell you something. Entrepreneurship in Africa should be encouraged, because that is the key. I don't want to say so many things in here, but entrepreneurship. When I came to Africa, I saw so many opportunities, bro. Like I have like multiple streams of income that it's all coming from the continent. I'm not going anywhere. So many, because I created something for myself. I realized that so many of us, like, we just went to school because we want to be doctors, engineers, we want to sit in the offices, and we go blind about what is surrounding us. I interviewed a young guy today who is a radio personality here in Kenya. And being a radio personality, you know what he did? He opened a car wash. A car wash, just an ordinary car wash. And this car wash, like some of us, if you tell somebody that, oh, I own a car wash, now wait, Jimmy, a car wash now. But this guy is making 5 times the money he makes as a radio presenter. I didn't believe it. So he took me to his workplace today. I was just sitting down there, bro. Like cars were coming in and out. And he asked me, Maya, are you counting? Are you counting the cars? I want you to count. I kept on counting. This one goes and come, and I'm like, wow.
Yep. Definitely.
You see,
Wow.
like,
Not
people
to
selling food on the streets, we don't respect them. We think that, oh, and I will watch it 2 CD, I don't know, man. But these people actually make money.
Not to cut you off. Earlier this year, I was in. There's this app that people were on. I think it's called Clubhouse or something. Party House or something. One of those. House party. So my friends put me on, and I got to network with this young guy, and he used to work in Parliament House, and he was making about, I think, 500 to 5,000 Ghana cedis. I don't know how much it was, and then he started doing a dispatch thing. He had his own motorbikes and he had riders, and he said he was sitting down doing the calculation, and the amount of money he would pay his dispatchers was equivalent on from being from working at Parliament.
This connection seems to be a little bit
from working at Parliament House. So sorry about that. From working at Parliament House, so he had to actually stop working at Parliament House to focus on his own business, and his numbers were making sense. That his dad decided to invest in his business. That is because the thing is.
So what is this app?
Just go to school,
app that you're making reference
get
to,
out of school and look for a government job or a job in the bank.
I mean,
hello?
I
think I'm lagging. And people are conditioned to go to school, get a good job, and come out and probably get a job in government or probably a bank. But then we have to go beyond the box. We have to experiment outside of the box. And as Maya said, entrepreneurship. It makes sense, man. We need to start doing our own businesses. That is the only way they can develop the country.
Exactly. More African youth must get involved. I feel like somebody needs to educate us about the kind of mindset that we have, the way we think, the way we don't respect certain kind of jobs. Like, I've been a victim. Like, I always wanted to be an engineer. My brother was the one who was telling me that, let's be an entrepreneur. I was like, bro, which one is entrepreneurship? I just want to get paid and go my way. But when I started it, I've invested in so many things that at the end of the month, my YouTube comes, I have other things around that comes, literally don't do anything. And we are living in a technological age that you can actually access everything on your phone, do everything on your phone without going anywhere. So I feel like we need to educate more people about entrepreneurship because most of us don't understand. Like I went home and I'm seeing all my classmates asking me, hey, now we've seen that you've made it, you're interviewing even former president, please, we need a job, link us up. I'm like, dude, I don't even have a job myself, I don't have a job. How can I even link you up for you to get, I don't have a job myself.
That's true,
This is literally what the message I'm trying to give to the world. Like, the mystery mantra is to chase your dreams whilst living your best life. What is it that you are passionate about? And why don't you just champion in that instead of one of my Aunt Darlington said, finding a job, or just because your parents have, told you, I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be this. Do whatever it is that you're passionate about. And when you focus on that, definitely you'll be able to survive. I talked about, I did a video with Maya, people who look down on jobs. The wache seller who makes 4K in about 6 hours. When that's somebody's 2 months salary in Ghana. But they would rather sit in the office and be a PA or whatever, have a long fancy title, but they're not getting half as much as the local coconut seller, wache seller, or car washer. So I definitely feel like the diaspora needs to come as the Africans in the diaspora. We can unite with Africa if we come back and start opening up businesses over here. We start creating jobs for the Ghanaians or for the people in your country, in back home, wherever you are. That way, we'll be able to, and it's not going to be easy, 1000%, because they are very much stuck in their ways. And I do feel in Ghana they don't like change. But once you keep going, you keep pushing, there will be that breakthrough.
Yeah.
That's it. It's about being persistent and not giving up.
Gotcha. And I would also say that sometimes I would say most of the time it depends on like how this saying goes that charity begins at home. You know, how we were brought up. Most of us that was brought up back home, right? Let's say you live in Ghana and your upbringing and stuff like that. Your parents keep putting in your head that if you don't become a doctor, if you don't become a lawyer, if you don't become, let's say, some fancy job or do some fancy job as a career, you probably not make it in life, or your life is going to go into shambles and stuff like that. So would you kind of like agree with me that the way we were brought up, or I would say the ideology that our parents gave to us as we were growing up, made us feel that, okay, if I get to America, if I get to the UK, I've made it.
Though, 100%. 100%.
Something to say, oh, my daughter, she's a lawyer. Oh, you didn't know my daughter or my son, he's a banker. But right now I feel like they're slowly understanding or grasping the fact that it's not even about that anymore. Like,
I mean, in regards to, and I agree with you what you're saying, Drew, but in regards to that particular question, you have to understand where they are coming from. In their time and in that era, that was the thing. Being a doctor, being an engineer, being a lawyer, what's the thing? Those were the people that were making the money. So every parent's idea or what they wanted the idea child, what they wanted their child to become was to be that doctor. So she can say, my daughter, my son is a doctor, my son is an engineer, my daughter is an engineer, pilot, whatever. It was a status thing. But as time moved on, things changed. The world has changed completely.
Thank you. The ultimate bottom line is what you're saying is they just wanted you to know that if my son is an engineer, automatically it's money. But you can also give money, the same amount of money, doing something else. And it is sad that that is the way that they were brought up.
I have gotten the opportunity to meet Indians and people from different backgrounds that are not into medicine. They are not into engineering. They're just data analysts. By watching YouTube and learning on their own, and they are making equivalent to what doctors are making right now. The world is changing, and within a short period of time, technology has moved so fast that it has changed the game for everyone. The person that is able to tap into technology right now is going to make it. You have to be able to utilize the platform. I know people that don't even have bachelor's degree, but are making close to what doctors, or even more than what doctors are making. Making more than what nurses are making. I remember when I first came to this country, when I first came to the States, and my mom, I went out with my mom, meeting my mom's friends, and said, they're like, Newman, you should go do nursing. There's money in nursing. I'm like, nursing? Like, I had no interest in it. There are people that have interest in it. It's wonderful. Nurses, listen, we salute you guys, especially during this season where you're saving our lives. But it's not for everyone. And it's like an easy entrance. Everyone feels like, and when you come here first, it's an easy entrance because you're coming from a background where you have science background, whatever. They feel like you have to jump into that. It's going to be easy for you, but it's not so. You have to pursue your passion, and in doing so, you'll be able to achieve great things and build things that will benefit everyone. Whatever you're doing has to be a service. It's not just about the money, because when you follow the services, the money comes too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And I would say with your example that you just gave, I think it's kind of like a typical example of I would say what Maya and Ms. Drew on here, because I would say they're back home, because following the service, kind of like what Maya giving the service to Africa, going to different countries and taking the videos and stuff and showing it to the world as to how great Africa is, as how people would think that Africa, quote unquote, I repeat again, quote unquote, that we live on trees, we live in the jungle, and then he's showing the other side of Africa, knowing that, okay, there are great resorts here, there are great places on here. Ms. Drew doing her videos, showing that, okay, hey, there are great places that you can actually come visit and know that, it's a great place that you can actually visit in Ghana. Like the initiative that happened last year, I couldn't get the chance to come, which is the Year of Return, right? A lot of people coming in and actually seeing that Ghana, quote unquote, is not the place that they thought it was. Looking at, how the resorts, Aqua Safari, all the other big resorts in Ghana and, in the diaspora, I would say in Ghana as well, made it, I would say, an eye-opener for them to actually know that, okay, Africa is a place that I can actually come in and visit or invest in, because I see bigger things happening there, that people are actually doing something bigger with themselves, as compared to us sitting here and thinking that, if I go do this in Africa, it's not going to yield anything for me. Because if I'm coming to invest in one thing that I saw was you interviewed a guy who deals in, I think, the solar panels. you know, he was stating that even though like I said in the beginning, that we need each other, we need the whites, we need the black, we need the Caucasians, we need the Dominicans, you know, all those people. He started with this, I would say, was he in the States or the UK? One of them. And he moved to Ghana to start, you know, the solar panel business and stuff like that. And he still has investors who are white, investors who are black, investors who are, you know, different color of people who are still coming in to invest, and knowing that this is something that would actually improve, let's say, a long-term investment. 10 years from now, okay, Ghana will probably invest more into solar panels because we know that that's going to save a lot of money, a lot of costs on our side, right? And to draw to the next question, it's more like I was stating with the family, you know, charity beginning at home. Like Neiman was saying that when he got here, his mother was like, oh, if you become a nurse, you know, that would help because nurses are making money. Yes, it did start from their time where they were more so of, oh, if you're a doctor, you've made it in life. If you're a lawyer, you've made it in life. You know, if you're this, you've made it in life. I went through the same exact thing. When I got here, my mom was like, oh, you should be a doctor. I was like, no, I don't want to be sleeping and wait. They call me at 2 a.m. in the morning that, hey, we have a, what do you call it, emergency. You have to come to the hospital. Like whatever is going on within COVID and stuff like that. So I told her that, Mom, just give me the free time. I would decide on what I want to do by myself at my own time, my own pace. So at the end of the day, when I went to her, I was like, okay, Mom, I think what I actually want to do is dive into the IT industry, right? To actually do stuff, because I feel like that's where my calling is. That's what I want to do besides what I do on the side. So at the end of the day, it actually did work for her. So like you were saying that as time goes on, they did understand that, okay, it's not all about being a doctor, right? It's not all about being a nurse. It's not all about being, you know, this white collar, nice job making 6 figures a year. And one typical example that I have with that, there was this friend doctor of mine, right? And he goes to work, right? He works 12 hours. Like he goes 7 to 7. And then he closed from work one day. He was coming back home and he stopped at the traffic light. So he stopped at the traffic light and then, you know, the light turned green. He was not moving. The car was not moving. And they went to the car and they were like, hey, are you okay? They opened the door. He's dead. He's gone. Literally. He's dead and gone. And, you know, that's not even the sad part. After they did the autopsy, right, in the States here, after they did the autopsy, they figured that it was pressure on him. It's kind of like high blood pressure and stuff like that. So I'm not going to say it's basically from the career that he had, but based off of the experience that I would say I've seen some of my friends go through, I'll say with the pressure that he had from here, kind of like amounted to him having that, you know, high blood pressure on his side. Because if, let's say like me and Newman saying we're going to Ghana, if we come to Ghana, the freedom is there. You know, you don't have to think about waking up early in the morning and having to clock in or having to go to meetings and stressing out and thinking about, you know, oh, Charlie, my boss is going to kill me if I don't log in at this time. My boss is going to kill me if I don't at that time. So drawing to the entrepreneurship aspect of it, if, let's say, we decide to, Africans in the diaspora decide to come to Ghana to actually educate and build, like what the Maya was saying, right? If the infrastructure, like, it's not set in place by, I would say, quote unquote, I might be wrong, set in place by the government, right? Which we have actually put in power to actually help us with that. If it's not set in place to actually help us who want to be entrepreneurs to move back home, if we move to us, we feel like, okay, we're coming back to literally nothing, and they're not actually on time. They're not actually following the steps or the ways that I want them to follow to help me help them. Do you get my point? So if you're not helping me help you, then at the end of the day, I feel like, okay, then me coming back home is not going to do anything for me. Do you get my point? We still want to do it, you know, but then, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Darlington. We still want to help out.
I think Ms. Drew has an answer because she's excited to answer.
Yeah. I'm getting what you're saying, but I'm not. We cannot wait for the government. You shouldn't wait for the government. You need to start now.
All the people that Drew, go ahead.
So I would say that you have to start now. It's not going to be easy, but you shouldn't be thinking, if you're not going to help me, then I'm not going to help you. So I'm just going to stay where I am and just watch you guys fall into absolute nothing. No, you still have to continue, because like you said it yourself, small drops of water make a whole river. People will catch on. And once maybe you can see the dent that you're making in the society, then maybe you'll get the, you know, attention of the government, maybe, and then they can help out. I mean, they already saw that every December, people from around the world were coming to Ghana in December. Before, then they decided to jump on the wave and create Year of Return. But we were already returning before the government even spoke about it. Afro Nation was booked before it was announced this is going to be the Year of Return. So we definitely need to start doing what we're doing first, and then later on, If they jump on, great. If they don't, still keep doing it, because we'll be able to make a change. And then you will be the one that will be recognized for it. Then the government taking over and saying, oh, yes, take all the glory and saying it's for them. Because that's, in a way, technically what has happened. People are doing things already. Then as soon as the government jump on, they just steal the idea and then they get all the praise. And all your hard work goes down to nothing.
Wow. Okay.
We
Yeah.
don't need the government. As an African diaspora coming back to Africa, like I was saying, that Africa is not perfect. You know how Africa was when you left. So you coming back, you have to come back with an idea of you coming to add value to what is going on. Okay. What change are you bringing in? Let me tell you something. When you come to Africa, you might see opportunities that me that I've never traveled out of Africa, I wouldn't say it. You will come and tell me that, hey, I think we can do this. We have this in the West. I think, you see, I have a friend who, when we live in China, we used to order food. Within 1 minute, we get our food, dispatches and all that. But we can trace where our food is, okay? So this guy was based in China. When he came to Ghana, he realized that when he ordered food, you don't know where the dispatcher is. They will tell you 15 minutes, 10 minutes. They end up coming 20 minutes later. So what this did was to design an app to trace. Like if let's say I order a food, he would trace where the dispatcher is. He would trace it to get to my house. Like an Uber. You order an Uber, you will know where the Uber driver is. 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You see, like you brought a change that was not there. You see, we have to join hands together and bring that change that Africa is looking for. Not always depending on the government, because they are not willing to help. They are not willing to change anything. We all know African politics is all about pocket. Yo, you're my friend, you're my brother. Let's do it this way and we are done. Like, can you imagine, like, people are building houses, mansions. Go to Tema, community where Drew is, community 13, 12. People are building houses, but the road is nothing to write home about. Why? Because people are waiting for the government. And if you do the road by yourself too, I think they're gonna sue you or something. You can't do the road. You can't do the road yourself.
Wow.
So people invest in houses. So there's nothing you can do. You can't wait for the government, because this is the problem of Africa. We always want to wait for the government to do something. Oh, what is the government doing? Like, let's talk about the project that brought Africa to the world, changing the narratives of Africa. We all have been seeing how people see Africa. It's the responsibility of the tourism board to come out and say that enough is enough. Let's start talking about Africa in a positive way. But they're not doing that. It has to be YouTubers to come up and say that enough is enough. So as an African, just always have this idea that I must play a role to change the face of Africa by not depending on the government. Do your own thing at your own time, and Africans will be proud of you.
Oh, great. So, Maya, that's wonderful. First of all, I want to say I'm very pro-government.
I know, right? You're a politician, yeah?
He's a politician.
I'm very pro-government. In terms of politics, or in terms of government, when it comes to Africa, we have to come to the understanding that I'm also a very strong Christian. The Bible says that the youth will have vision and the older folks will dream dreams. We have to come to the understanding that our leaders are usually old. Our president is currently in the 70s. They're dreaming. They're what they want to do is dreams that they had, visions that they had in the past. Now those things are dreams, and they can't accomplish it. Yet again, that's why I always encourage a lot of youth to get involved in politics. Politics is actually for the youth to do. When you look into great nations, when you look into America, and there were a lot of people in their founding fathers that were young. Thomas Jefferson was young when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. When you go to Great Britain, what's the name? William Wilberforce, when he started the fight for the abolition of slave trade, he was 24 years old. He achieved it in his late 40s. That should tell you that when we're young, we are vibrant, we have the energy, we can do it. And most young folks need to get involved. Never be discouraged by the older folks saying that you don't respect, because they like to do that. They say, oh, I'm the father of the nation. No, don't do that. We need to get more younger folks involved and engaging in politics. Okay, now moving forward. There's this saying that one guy said, he said, the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. So, Maya, you've traveled the world. Drew, you've been to UK. I'm sure you've been to other places also. You've experienced from different parts of the world. So now when you go home, you notice things and you're like, I can implement this back home, which can help in the development of my people. Because the goal is to learn from different places. And when we learn from different places, we bring it back home to build it. A lot of folks, in terms of the diaspora, we need a lot of young folks coming back home.
True.
Just because of this, because they have had an encounter with different people. They have had the experience of seeing different things. When in terms of our leaders, yes, we have leaders that travel, but when they travel to different parts of the world, they see the surface things, they see the roads, they see the tall buildings. That's all they think about. But they don't see the small things that make impact. They don't see the small businesses. Like when you come to America, when you come to New York, for instance, people would think like, oh, JP Morgan or those big businesses are the one that are holding New York. No, it's the small businesses within New York, the corner store, the deli. Those businesses make New York what New York is. So when our world leaders, our African leaders come, they don't go to the deli. They don't go to Walmart to go and see the reverse vending machine that people go and send bottles back to do that. We are the ones doing it because we're schooling here. We're seeing all of this. We're like, okay, these are things that people are implementing, which is helping in terms of recycling culture. Every year we experience flooding in Ghana. Every year we experience flooding in Ghana. And then we complain that it is due to plastic materials clogging our sewages. So then what do? We have to create a culture of recycling where people start to recycle some of these plastic materials, and then it's become part of us, which will reduce. Yes, it might not completely get rid of the flooding because obviously our sewage systems are not good, our roads are not good, but it will reduce those flooding. It will reduce the yearly flooding happening. So I feel like we should definitely encourage folks to go back home due to the fact that they have encountered different backgrounds, experienced different backgrounds, talk to different people, acquire different knowledge. I went to a seminar one time, and the guy said, folks that go back home, one, you have international experience, you have international certificates, and he said it was three things. And with that, when you go, you have that opportunity to do well. We have that opportunity to do well. We have to jump on it. Yes, it's privilege, but we have to jump on it to help our people.
Of course, definitely. But then what you were saying about, the government and being involved with the government is all well and good saying that, yes, as a diaspora or as young people, we should join the government. We should have our voices. But it's not as easy.
I'm not saying join them.
We're not joining them, but that's how it came across, actually. It was
I'm saying I'm pro-government. I'm pro-government
yes.
because I feel like there has to be a system that holds everyone. You understand?
Oh, yes. And to be something
accountability has to be there.
The young people and the older people can come together, drop their ideas, and they can have a pool about it and talk about it. But the way things are right now is there's a huge gap. The government and the old people are here and the young people here, but there's nothing in the middle that is bridging us together for us to be able to get our ideas to them. And so they're very much stuck. It's very much of a who you know or what family you were in, and that's how it is, and how much money you have. So me coming from London trying to book an appointment with at least Kafwado's PA, who are you? You're just a randomer with it would take more than 1,000 steps then again starting yourself, and it's going to be hard because definitely the recycling is a thing that has been bugging me for ages. I mean, in London, if you don't recycle, you get fined. But in Ghana, when you're getting simple fanyogo, they give you a clear plastic plus a black bag for no reason. It's frustrating.
In terms of recycling, I actually did a survey in Ghana 2017, talking to different people, from different backgrounds. And there was this one lady I spoke to, and she said in the past, she used to like to recycle. She would separate plastic stuff from regular garbages. And she said when the Bola people come, that's how she used it. When the garbage collectors come, they just dump everything in one place. And to her, she was like, okay, it's a waste of time. And also, there were folks that also said they do recycle, but what happened, especially with recycling of plastic bottles, what happened is during the hot season, when because people drink a lot of water, and they do the recycling. They go to these manufacturing companies, these collectors. They pay them less because they assume that there are a lot of people drinking water, so they can get it anywhere. And during the rainy season, obviously, not a lot of people drink water, so they pay a little bit higher. But what happens is, if Parliament is able to create a standard price, meaning they are taxing those bottles, and when you return the bottle, you're getting back what you have. It will encourage people to do more of recycling. It will encourage people, because in the US, for instance, when you go to the store and you buy your bottle, you're actually taxed for the bottle, the water you're buying. But when you go back and you're taxed the same amount, when you go back and you return in the reverse vending machine, they give you that tax that was taxed on the bottle. You get it back. You get your money back. So you see all these, you see some Chinese folks, you see some folks that go around people's houses when it's time for recycling, when people put it outside, they go and they pick it up from the garbage because they use that money, they go back, return it, and they use that money to see their children to university. People are actually done that.
Not to cut you off. I thought there was something like that going on in Ghana, whereas I'm not sure if you guys remember, but then if you go to buy, let's say, a crate of Coke, right? You pay for the bottles, or they'll tell you that it's either you pay for the bottles or you return the bottles, and then they give you.
I think it was done in the past, but now how many people sell Coke bottles? Usually it's cans or plastic bottles now compared to the past. Because I remember in the past when you're going to buy Coke, you're holding your basket. And the Coke is in the basket. You cover, you go, and you have to return it to get your to buy. It's like that. It was in the past, but now it's no longer there. It's no longer in our culture anymore.
They still do it. Actually,
they still do.
Main big events, they still do. Still, the option is there.
Okay, that's basically in reference to actually like I would say, besides the fact that we need Africans in the diaspora to actually move home, or to, either I would say not move home specifically, or come to actually help build Africa to where it needs to be. Like we're talking about with the entrepreneurship, as to if you have any ideas as to what you could do business wise back home, or to actually impact the country you're from, or Africa as a continent. Do you think people not doing that, or people not actually doing that the most, would be because of a disconnect that's actually having them think that, okay, if I go home, it's either A, B, or C is going to happen. If I go home, like the people would say, if I go home, they would say every man for himself. One example that I would say, I spoke to this man that works at the Flagstaff House in Ghana, right? He works for the HR office in Flagstaff House. They hire, the people to work for them, right? But then he was talking about the fact that, okay, why is it that in Ghana, whenever and I know Newman is going to go off on me on this one. Why is it that whenever a new president comes on, right, all the members of parliament or a section of the parliament, he brings his own people. It's kind of like, okay,
You mean ministers?
Yeah, the ministers. When I'm president, I bring my own ministers. I'm not going to mention you are. Let's say you are QCP. Okay, and QC was on. A was on, right? And A is going. A needs to take all its people away. And now B is coming. B brings all its people. Do you think it would be better if, let's say, right, we have some sort of, if we are in a democracy, right, wouldn't you think it would be better to have, let's say, this section of people where, okay, we have to have a certain number of people from this particular party and this particular party to come together to make sure that the ideas are actually being shared among ourselves rather than it being shared among one party?
In terms of governance, I mean, we have three governors, and we have legislature, we have executive, and we have judiciary. When it comes to the executive, in terms of legislature, is the people that vote for that parliament as member of parliament. But when it comes to executive, we are voting for the president, and any minister in the presence with the president has to be selected by the president. That is loyalty. You need loyalty. You need people you think can get the job done. And the president has every right to choose his staff. It is right. It's like if I start a business, you're not going to tell me because you used to run that business. Okay, let's say you used to run that business, right? And I come in and I'm like, I buy your business. You're not going to tell me that I should stick with your workers. One, your workers are already loyal to you, and your workers know you, they'll work for you, whatever. But it's more so, who do I trust? Who do I know can get the job done? You trusted them. You feel they were going to get the job done for you. But I have to also look into consideration who can get the job done for me. Yes, during Kufuor's time, Kufuor had this guy. What's his name? He's been running for president for a long time. I'm trying to remember his name again. He's from Cape Coast. Kufuor had Park Sindum as a member, as a minister. So it's possible. People do it. So in terms of having one party joining your cabinet, no, it's not encouraged, it's not advisable, but it all depends on the president at that time. He chooses his cabinet. He chooses the staff. But when it comes to parliament, the people choose their member of parliament. So it all boils down to who you want to lead you, because at the end of the day, parliament has a lot of power. People tend to forget it. In Africa, we always look to the president. If there's light off, we say the president. But we have to understand that parliament has a lot of power. We need to start making them accountable and reducing all the burden on the president. Because when you go to, I remember recently, not to undermine any leader, I'm not going to mention names, some parts of Ghana, the roads were terrible. And I was talking to one of my friends, and the person said, y'all buying also, it's our party. So the point is, they don't want to vote that person out of office because the person is a party member, is in our party, so we can't vote the person out. You understand me? Yeah. But it shouldn't be so. You have to hold the person accountable. And when the person was held accountable, people started asking questions. The person said, is the DCE that is responsible for developmental projects? No. Yes, it's yes, but no. You as a member of parliament have influence. You are able to go and sit at the table and have discussions in terms of what developmental projects can be done in your place. You can lobby for money. You can lobby for projects to be done in your constituency. Members of parliament have they have immense power. They have immense power, and we have to hold them accountable.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, he said you can't be for your consistency and you can't be for just your area, but the reality of the situation is that's what's happening. It's a little bit like, I think I agree with Albert that, you know, if someone is in power, there should be a little bit of people here, because imagine all of the buildings. If you come to Ghana, there are actually quite a few unfinished buildings that are just sat there because, it was a product of the past government. And if it keeps going like that, then we're just going to have a whole load of unfinished buildings, unfinished roads, unfinished thingies that these governments are trying to do. And it's not going to help us move forward as a country.
One thing, A+, I don't know if you're familiar with A+. And one thing a lot of people have been pushing for is a national agenda. When there's a national agenda, the goal is that whether NDC, CPP, MPP, whoever is in power, whatever project they started, the next administration must be able to complete those projects. The thing about African leadership is that when Party A comes into office, they want to do their project and say, we did this. And they get the claim. Like, let's use our beautiful airport, for instance. I would say NDC did well. I am going to, I don't like Mahama. I don't like Mahama, I'll say. But Mahama did very well. We have to acknowledge that. We have to appreciate the effort he put in making our airports look good. Yes, MPP, people tend to say, it's doing Nanado did it. But then it's Mahama, let's be real. But the point is, when we have a national agenda, now there's a goal. Now there's a purpose. Whether A or B comes into office, we know there's going to be a completion of that project that was started. We have to come to that. That's one thing A+ has been pushing for, and I appreciate him for pushing for that, because one of the things I believe in is a national agenda. Wonderful.
And not to deviate from our topic, since we have a few minutes left. So with all the ideas that was actually talked about here today, right? What just suggestion wise, right? What do you guys think would be some of the things that we can actually put in place? Because we could keep talking about, ideas, we should do this, entrepreneurs should do that, Africans in the diaspora should do this, they should do that. But then I would say, if you have a vision without action, it's kind of like you're just running in waters, like you don't know what you're doing. So what do you think are some steps that we could take? Let's forget about, I would say the older folk. Let's forget about those who are actually, let's say, in government. Yes, we do need them. It is totally understandable. But us as millennials who are actually, I would say, growing to take up that space, us as millennials who are actually, gearing towards actually that stage of our lives where we want to actually see Africa to be a better place. Because this has been something that has been going on for years, for decades. People wanting to put Africa on the map, people wanting to put Africa where it should be and stuff. What do you think are some steps that as millennials could take to actually make our countries, our specific countries, and Africa as a continent, where we want to see it? Because right now I would say that the ball is in our court, right? We can't say that we're relying on the government because one, it's kind of like every man for himself in the government, God for us all, right? So if we want to change, we have to put in the action. So what are some ideas that you guys think can be put in place to help us millennials upcoming to actually help us make Africa or the continent a better place? Any ideas?
Like you said, start from small ideas. Start with your, exactly like with the mindset. Start with yourself. The smallest thing it could be. See how Uber came to Ghana and now it's just blown. Little things like that are seen as small things outside.
But Uber had the capital. Uber had capital. The point, our problem is capital, man. It's capital.
It's always about money.
It's all about money. And but
that is the mindset that we have, that everything has to do with money. But even if you don't have the money, so far as you have the plan, you'll always have people to push the agenda.
I agree with you. Exactly. What I'm saying is that
have the plan.
Go ahead.
Have the plan, and then when you are ready to implement it, there are people who are gonna come and support you to implement the plan that you have. Like I said, you shouldn't wait. The time is now. I mean, it's time for the youth of Africa to grab all the opportunities in Africa. I have seen it myself. I'm a living testimony because I have seen people who are doing it. I've seen people who use their school fees to establish factories. I've seen people who don't even want to appear on camera. They are doing fantastic jobs on the continent, and they are just like you and I. It's all about the capital. It's all about starting from somewhere. And if you think you have a vision that, okay, you can't do this alone, then you look for people who are willing to support that dream to make it into.
So one thing I want to say is that this numbers is very important. Is that we need to know that roughly about 35 million citizens of African descent reside in the US alone, and collectively we have a purchasing power of about $450 billion.
Wow.
If all of this money is summed up, this can represent a single country, and that will make us 15 largest in terms of one of the 15 largest countries, or like 15 richest countries in the world. So we do have the purchasing power. Nigeria alone has a huge purchasing power. Whatever business you intend to do, if you start small, as they've mentioned, you can do it. You just have to, even if you don't have the capital, you have to find ways to be able to do that business where it's not capital intensive for you. There are a lot of ways. Social media has made it so easy. I see a lot of folks, young ladies, young men, whatever, selling wigs and selling whatever. They're doing it and it's working. I know a lot of folks that are shipping clothes from different parts of the world into Africa, and it's working. They are doing it. It is a gradual process. Entrepreneurship has been an African thing from the beginning. Even in our Declaration of Independence, Ghana's Declaration of Independence, Kwame Nkrumah makes mention of the market women, the impact they play, the role they play, and what they are going to continue to do. Because market women, those women in Makola and Kantamantu, those women are making money. They've been holding Ghana. Yes, they've been holding Ghana down for a long time, and we need to appreciate them. You might think that they're not. You might think that it's like, oh, hustler's job. They are this going back. Those women have been holding Ghana down for a long time. It is not those huge companies you see and all those things. It is those market women, and that shows that if we also start getting dirty, we need to get dirty. We need to get in the mud and work our ass off, and not be thinking about white collar jobs, blue collar jobs, and just trying to like be fancy. There are a lot of hustling jobs. I know, and I have friends that are chefing, doing chef stuff, and they're selling stuff on the street, pineapple. And there's one friend that is doing kenke something, where they make ice kenke and they sell. There are people that are, all these opportunities are there. We have to go outside of the box and forget government jobs and those white collar jobs and focus on the hustle.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I say that all the time. But we also mustn't actually, as much as I'm very much pro, chase your passion, do what it is that you are passionate about, we mustn't forget that all these other jobs, they still need people to work them. So they still need people to work them. And so we have to also be able to adapt the mindset that, honestly, I've learned the hard way. You cannot be in Ghana and feel like you can survive on one job. You cannot.
Oh, no.
Whilst you are, working, doing your maybe your 5 to 9 or 9 to 5, still be doing a side time hustle, which is, adding the small pennies that you might be getting towards something small that can be helping on large, helping the country helping the country as a whole, because things like that will be able to help us move faster.
And just to put out the last points before I leave everybody alone. I did see that Ms. Drew has also started your own entrepreneurship with the plantain chips, right? With the plantain chips, you started your own business with the plantain chips. How is that going for you? And kind of like if somebody's on here watching us and actually wants to start something in Ghana as well, let's say registering a business, putting stuff out there, making sure they have these ideas, and because I think now everything is like on Instagram, on Facebook, they put everything on there and they get the buyer.
Instagram businesses actually survive more in Ghana than actual buildings. Instagram buildings, I've realized Instagram businesses are flourishing right now. But it's different because in the UK, an Instagram business isn't really that popular. Everybody wants to go into the shop and buy, feel, and touch and all that kind of thing. But
what are some advices that you would give to somebody that actually wants to start something? Let's say not just in Ghana, but let's say Africa in general. Some of the hardship that you went through to actually get the business where I know it's kind of like at the stages where you're starting off little by little, but then what are some of the challenges that you face that somebody can actually learn from if they actually want to do something back home?
Firstly, I would definitely say research. You have to do the research in the market. You can't just wake up today and say, oh yeah, I want to launch a pen line when you haven't seen all the types of pens that are already out there for you. You need to see what is on the market, how well it is doing, learn from it. This is what you have to learn from, what other people are doing. Start with sampling. To be fair, the first month is a lot of giving out for people to sample. Give them your reviews. Let's see what people are saying before you're able to then build up of that. So in Ghana, a lot of people do depend on public figure reviews, which is one thing that I learned the hard way. If a celebrity has said that, oh yeah, this is good, or a credible source has said that this is good, then more people depend on that way. Registering a business in Ghana, you need to pay a lot of money to register your business. You need to pay for FDA, because I'm with the food, mine's with food. You have to pay for FDA, you have to pay for registering, make sure there's a certain amount acquired before the business can even be registered. So there's a lot of money that you have to put into it, and you need to also be patient. So if you are passionate about what you are doing and you understand why you're doing it, then I'm telling you, all the hardships that come your way, the knocks, the dips, the hustles, the passion is what will fuel you. And when the money comes, it will be an added bonus, because this is something that you love. But I definitely would implore you guys to research the market, see what's around. Sometimes I would say, look at where the gap is in the market, but just because Amma is doing plantain chips and Akuya is also doing plantain chips, that doesn't mean that my plantain chips are not going to sell. Room for everybody. There is enough room for everybody to survive and to flourish and to grow in this community. So it's all about making yours unique. What is it that is going to be your USP with your product?
Talking about plantain chips, Erasmus Freeman says he wants to try your plantain chips.
You just got one buyer. So not to cut. So going to Wadimaya, right? The question that I asked Ms. Drew was, she just started her own entrepreneurship.
Oh wow! I like the packaging.
I like the packaging too.
USP, my packaging. You can open.
The packaging looks very good.
You can resell. We give a certain percentage to the farmers that do the hard work. We only source from direct farmers. We don't get it from any random people in the market. We also make sure that our plantain chips don't use any fertilizers. So what's your USP? And to be fair, like I said, even though it's in Ghana, my head is thinking international. This is supposed to be in Walmart. This is supposed to be in Tesco. This is supposed to be around the world, not just Ghana. And so we have 2 places. You can buy them online, guys. We deliver to anywhere in the world. www.menso.com. Sorry, I had to plug.
Yeah, go ahead. Let them know.
Check us out on Instagram, Aiko, which means well done. So this was a present to myself, saying well done for surviving in Ghana for 2 years. And that's why we plantain.
Wonderful. And to Wadimaya, right? And I'll go to that in a bit. what are some, since let's say you have, I would say, traveled around Africa, right? Been to most of the countries in Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Cameroon, all those countries that I would say you've been to. What are some ideas that you would say? Because if we keep, like I said, if we keep talking about the fact that, we have to invest in ourselves, start from ourselves. Some of us here, like Ms. Drew was saying, would need to research and stuff like that. You have seen it firsthand. What are some advices that you would give business-wise? Let's say somebody wants to start a business, right? To help his or her country. Maybe they're not specifically from Ghana. Maybe they're from Uganda. They're from Kenya and stuff like that. What are some of the things that you've seen that, okay, if you invest in this, I think if you actually focus on this, research more on this aspect, let's say research more on solar panels, research more on A, B, C, on D, right? And I ask you these questions because you have traveled more in the African diaspora as compared to, I would say some of us, right? So what are some of the ideas that you would say would give to some of these people who are watching us, who actually wants to start something back home?
So it's so tough for me to tell right now because the opportunities are huge in Africa. But I would say that first of all, if you're an African and you live in Africa and you've not been to any other African country apart from your own country, shame on you. I used to. Let me continue. When I started traveling in Africa, I realized that we don't know each other, and I didn't even know that Ghana and Togo has a lot in common. I never knew that Kenya and Tanzania has a lot in common. So you might be from Ghana and see some opportunities in Kenya, yeah? And you'll be like, okay, this is not in Kenya, but this is in Ghana. Then you come and invest in that particular country. I met a man in Ghana who owns offices. One Airport Square. I don't know anyone who knows One Airport Square. He owns the 8th floor of One Airport Square, and this guy is from Kenya. So what he did was he established a business of renting out offices to people in Kenya. He's one of the successful businessmen in Kenya. But now he realized that when he went to West Africa, people were building their houses. Offices were not that much in West Africa. What he did was he bought the whole apartment, he bought the whole building, and turned everything into offices. Mm-hmm. Now he owns it. You rent it, and then you pay him. Now, when you go there are so many offices at one place. This is an opportunity that he saw in Ghana, and he decided to what? Invest in it. He did it in Ghana and Nigeria, right? Because in Kenya, it's everywhere. But when he went to Ghana, he realized that it's few. So he had to what? Invest in it. So this is one of the reasons why you need to travel to other African countries to see what it's not in your country so that you'll be able to know what to invest in your country. Secondly, let me just say some of the things that we don't value on the continent is things that you can literally invest your money into. Shea butter, yeah. When Drew came to Africa, she has invested in plantain chips. Like, seriously? I invest in plantain chips. I buy plantain chips for 1 cedi, 2 cedi. I'm done. But look at what Drew has done. I lived in Ghana. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about shea butter. When you go to the north, there's this lady who is branding herself like a shea butter queen. Amamat, who is creating a whole brand on its own. But look at us. Like when we talk about shea butter those days, we thought that it's for poor people who can't afford to use this perfume creams, and those are the people that are using shea butter. This is something that as a young African, you don't even need money to start shea butter business. You don't need a lot of money because my sister was working for somebody. I did a video about black soap. When I did a video about black soap, people were reaching out to me, hey, whoa, I want to order this. And the black soap, the people actually sell it for 5 cedis.
Wow.
Right? Is it 2 kg or 1 kg? They sell it for 5 cedis. And I told my sister, hey, I don't have time. Okay. I have so many things that I do. So I think you can invest in it. And then she started. Now she doesn't do anything. All she does is like deliver black soap to the West and get the money, selling dollars. And, selling in dollars and getting back, changing them to Ghana city, that's a lot of money. Yeah. So I'm just telling young Africans who, let's say you work in an office, you have 8 to 9 or 8 to 5 job, please look at the basic things around you that we don't value as an African. Things that we don't value. These are the things that is like valuable in the West. But if you think you have a bigger picture of you being in real estate, and if you don't have money, put people together. you can work with other people and start investing in it. There's a man who started real estate with the wife, and now they're one of the big guys in Ghana. So find partners if you think that you cannot do it alone. Together we stand, divided we fall. But I would say that please, the
Wonderful.
greediness among Africans is way too much. So please, when you wanna like invest, please don't try to invest too much because you want to make more money. Yeah. So basically, that's all I can say. Look around you, look at the basic things around you, and invest in it just like Drew. And don't think that it's just you have to go and stay in the office. That's when you're gonna make money. I've been blocked so many times, like my bank account. They thought I do 419, but I don't. I just like stay on the internet and then just see what I can do. And even there's an opportunity of selling t-shirts without even investing $1 in it.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Like you have so many applications on the internet. So I will also encourage more Africans watching me right now. Like the internet has become a place where with your smartphone you can literally make as much as money as you want without going anywhere, just staying in your room. You can sell t-shirts online. You can, I mean, there's so many websites, many websites. YouTube is there. Facebook is also paying right now. Instagram is paying right now. Stop. Like I will encourage, like Ghanaian youths, we are good at insulting bloggers. We insult bloggers as if they have nothing to do with their life. But sometimes I see people to be so stupid because you know what? Like you are paying money to insult a blogger who is going to make money from you insulting him or her. These are the things that is miseducation. Like people will come and look at me and then they'll be like, "Oh, you always come and sit on the internet without doing nothing. You quit your aeronautic job to do this. Oh, go look for a job, dude. Like really." So I feel like we need to start educating our own people.
Yeah.
We need to start educating our own people. That is the only way, because that's why anytime I get a chance and when I travel, I bring people together and I teach them what I know and I leave. Because I feel like we need to share what I learned in China. I feel like China made me who I am today. And I always say thank you, China, because I learned a lot. I had classmates from everywhere and I was learning. So literally, I work with my phone every day. That's it. That's all I know. I don't know anybody else.
Wonderful.
So I believe that whatever you know, like whatever you know, when you get opportunity, please share. Let's not be greedy and learn from ourselves and let's make it together.
Wonderful.
That's all I want to say.
What about you, Darlington? What advices would you give to somebody out there as well?
Just finish.
Do you want mine? What Maya said was the phones. I mean, our phones are this right now. Everything is here. We can make wealth. We can do everything. Brick and mortar businesses are not doing so well, especially during this time, this coronavirus season. Instagram is paying very well. If you have a business on Instagram, it is going to pay you. There's not a lot of cost involved in establishing businesses and marketing it on social media. I actually have a friend in the beginning of the year. He started a clothing line and he was using social media. That's Instagram. And he started with like less than 1,000 followers. Now this guy has about 20-something thousand followers. You know? And he says he sells. I had a conversation. He sells. He delivers all the way to up north to Kumasi, and he lives in Accra. He doesn't do anything. He's doing delivery all over the country, and he's doing well. You know. And fun fact: the clothes he's selling are all false. You know, second-hand clothes. But people are buying it because he's branded it so well. I'm being real. He has branded it so well. Yes, they're second-hand clothes, but he has branded it so well, and he's making money out of it. He's doing well because he saw a service he could provide, and he jumped on it. Not everyone that is going to go to Kantamatu and go and do bend down boutique or whatever. Now you have to brand. It's all about branding. He has branded this so well, and he's making money out of it. In terms of my advice, my advice is mainly for folks in the diaspora. We need to go home.
Yeah.
It is something I have been preaching for a long time.
When are you coming?
Oh God, let me finish. I need to come home. It is something I am working towards. The thing about I have noticed about a lot of diasporans coming home is that it's taking that leap of faith. And if you find it difficult to take that leap of faith, what you should do is to try to create a cushion for yourself. Create an environment that will be conducive, so when you come back home, it makes it easier for you to flow. It is never so. It will you people say that and they take forever to come back. But if you want to take your time, do that. But if you want to go home, there are a lot of opportunities back home for each one of you. Come back home. Like, let's go home. Let's go do it. Yes, it's going to be difficult in the beginning, but we have to hustle. We have to do it. If we don't do it, who's going to do it for us? I spoke to a friend of mine in the past, and he said, we were talking about parents, why our parents did not go back home when they came to experience America and everything. And I told that person that it is because they wanted a future for their children. It is understandable. They wanted a great future for their children. Like my mom came here, she said, "Oh, I need to bring my children here." They wanted that greener pastures for their children. But if we're constantly doing that, saying that America is where it is, or UK is where it is, or the Western world, or Asia, China, for example, is where it is, what are we doing about our home? We need to come back home, build it, and say, yes, we are building it for our children. We're building the future for our children. We need to have that mindset. It's a mindset. And now coming back to Ghana, and in terms of changing our culture, we have to start creating systems. We have to create a system that is going to be more of public engagement, public education. We'll be educating people in different industries, different ideas, different cultures, like giving them different cultures, how to like look into different business, how to like in terms of like timing, going late, like change people's mindset about timing. It's important. It's all about public engagement. Public engagement is very important. When I started working in New York City, I used to work in an office which was called a public engagement unit, and that office, what they could do within New York alone is massive, because someone can literally be sitting in the office just doing phone calls and just doing public engagement, engaging with the public. What is your problem? All of that, we could go into the streets. You know, all those music they'll be playing, making advertisement or marketing or whatever. We could do the same where we're on the street playing music and then engaging with the public, the market women, in terms of whether it's recycling or whatever knowledge or something we want to teach them. We need to start doing it. The government needs to invest a lot in public education, not just, oh, we have a project, or like they want to just advertise whatever project they're doing on TV or social media. We need to start educating our people on how to build a country. That is what I believe in.
Thank you.
And that is advice.
Thank you. And without wasting any of y'all's time, I just want to thank everybody. Thank Ms. Drew, Wademaya for taking the time, Darlington for taking the time to actually have this conversation with us today. I really appreciate all of you being here, and all our viewers. I really appreciate you guys being with us throughout the entire conversation. I do hope that you did learn something from it, because I know I did learn, and I hope everybody else did learn something from it as well. And we're going to see you guys again, and we're going to have another conversation very soon. But till we see you guys again, stay blessed, be blessed, and God bless. Thank you guys so much. We're out. Thank you guys.